we empower people to become self-reliant.
Welcome to Unstoppable Podcast with Harry Sardinas, inspiring conversations with influential millionaires, investors, thought leaders, entrepreneurs who are making a massive difference with their innovative products and services, and sharing the challenges and wisdom of how they sold their first million.
Jason, so tell us a little bit more about commercial property because, like with all the experience that you have in single family, multifamily, like being a landlord, and why you gave all this knowledge, all this expertise up, something that you know very well how it works and how you can sustainable, make a decent income out of this. And now you go to a new field, which is commercial, which is again, you need to start from zero to learn from zero because commercial, same thing. It goes wrong and you cannot rent it or you cannot sell it. Oh boy, we are.
So my commercial venture started. So as I was running these retail stores, I had 6 retail stores, and I was leasing from these landlords, these strip malls, saying I pay them $3, $5, $6 grand a month. I'm paying their mortgage, and I'm not getting any equity. I'm just paying. And I did that for 15 years in multiple locations.
Wow.
And as I was moving out of one location, I talked to that landlord in the very beginning. He's an awesome guy. Then I said, "Hey, would you sell this?" He's like, "No, I'm not ready to sell." Well, 15 years later, as I'm moving to a new location, maybe it was 12 years later, but anyways, it was a long time. I'm moving to a new location. I asked him, "Hey, you ready to sell yet?" And he's like, "Actually, yeah." And to me, it's like, if you're going to have a retail space, you might as well just own the building.
Absolutely.
So I learned commercial from being a tenant in multiple landlords multiple times. And I saw how some landlords ran it, and they were ruthless and very tight with everything. And other landlords were loosey-goosey, and I like the loosey-goosey ones, but they made less money than the other ones.
Give flexibility. Yeah.
And I just tell you, so I observed this from it being a tenant and trying to get into commercial. And this guy, he worked with us. It was a great deal. I mean, we had 7 retail units and 65 something storage units, and that just right out of the gate, I'm like, why would I ever go back to single family or even multifamily when I can have this? And then I started learning about flex space, which is basically just a warehouse that you can break up and lease to 1,500 square foot or as large as 12,000 square feet. And it just makes way more sense, but you have to have money to get involved in them.
Yeah, but Jason, that the warehouse has to be in a key position so people can rent it as a commercial, right?
Right, absolutely.
I see commercial, Jason. For me, I love it. I tell you why, because I think you see, if I get into a commercial space, I'm thinking, well, because I have the skills as an entrepreneur. If I don't rent it, I put any business and I make it work myself. I pay my own rent. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
that's what I'm doing right now. I rent half the building for myself.
Exactly. If things goes to worse, that if something goes wrong, okay, you know what? I own this commercial space. Well, probably the location is not good. Probably I'm not getting the most money as I projected. You know what? I use it for myself. I use it for myself. To my own business. So in order to have this strategy, you have to have a backup plan. You need to know how to run a business. You need to know how to sell. You need to know how to run a retail store. Yeah. And know how to sell, know about product margins, know about this dynamic. But if you do have this skill, wow, commercial probably will be amazing because you rent it for good money. And if it's not, you can put a product there and put in a name, a brand, and use as a retail for yourself, right?
Absolutely.
Look at McDonald's. They thought that they were in the burger business, and then find out finally that they were in the real estate business.
Real estate business, yeah.
There you go. So,
absolutely.
So Jason, thank you so much. If somebody want to know more about your product in Walmart, about your companies, about what you do, how people can find you, how this process works, what's the name of your website?
Our website is survivalgardenseeds.com, and we empower people to become self-reliant through teaching gardening. We started this right in the middle of COVID, when the supply chain was short and people were like, "Hey, I'm nervous about the food supply." So I grew up as a gardener. I mean, my dad was a school teacher. There are 9 kids. That was just a way of life. And so my brother and I in COVID, we started this together. I bought him out last year, and it's been great. And the thing I love about this business is I love it because I know I'm helping another human being become more self-reliant and become, not everybody knows how to grow a garden. And it's a simple skill, but it's a necessary skill, whether you live in an apartment building or whether you live out in a rural area where you can do a big old farm. It's being able to be self-reliant on yourself and not have to rely on the current food chain and food supply. Is very heartwarming to know that, hey, me and my family could get along fine, or at least supplement. So survivalgardenseeds.com, we're on our website, we're on Amazon, we're in Walmart stores, not all of them, but we're in a bunch of them. And but you can see our whole product line on survivalgardenseeds.com. Thank you, Harry, for taking the time with me today.
My pleasure. Thank you so much for joining the podcast. And I think we share a lot of valuable information for our audience. Thank you so much, Jason, for being so kind to be here sharing with us. And for all of you following the broadcast, see you in our next episode of Unstoppable. How a brave entrepreneur like Jason break that wall and achieve the first million. Bye for now.
Follow us for more interviews with world's most influential, audacious entrepreneurs that overcame challenges and adversity, providing you with the blueprint of how they sold their first million so you can grow your business exponentially.